What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Bones, Season 11, Episode 21, The Jewel in the Crown. 2 final episodes. Thank goodness. I just want the season to end so bad. You have no idea. Quick disclaimer. I don't like this season. It's the worst season that Bones has had. A lot of really bad episodes, very few good episodes. So, yeah, I'm ready for the season to end. However, it is ending on a slightly better note than I expected it to. The last 2 episodes weren't that bad. You know, they were still not as good as they could have been, but they were still really bad compared to some of the past episodes, the really good Bones episodes. This one was about the same as those. You know, they had some funny stuff. They had some really cringeworthy stuff. They had an average case, but once again, followed the Bones formula. Just like most of the episodes this season, you know, they question this person, they question this person, they question. And I want to make a quick adjustment to that statement, because it's not just, you know, questioning them, it's bringing them into the interrogation room. Rarely do you see somebody brought in twice. It's always bring in this person, bring in this person, bring in this person, and the last person they bring in, that's who done it. And that's what happened in this one. You know, they're questioning all these different people, so many different interesting ways you can take it, and then you make it that one guy that they questioned that one time because he knew them. I mean, it wasn't real. It was a very interesting concept. It was a very interesting thought process of, ooh, you know, this wealthy family is now possibly going and robbing stores with all of these jewels. I mean, that's a very interesting concept. To end it with, oh, the accomplice did it, and it turns out it's the guy that she was having the affair with, and he just happened to be a store owner. I mean, it was so random. It could have been the husband. It could have been the detective that came to help out. It could have been the, forget who the girl was that the husband was talking to. Like, I lost focus a few times in this episode because they had such an interesting concept but didn't take advantage of it. They started going off on all these weird little plot points. You know, Hodgins thinking he was seeing a ghost. Brennan and Booth talking about Booth's eyesight. It lost its focus, and it lost my focus. So, I don't know. I was really disappointed that they didn't do more with this, that they didn't take advantage of this really interesting concept of wealthy family, royalty, turned criminal, turned murderer, possibly. Just, oh no, it was just the wife was a thief, and then her accomplice killed her. That's all it takes. A couple of other bad things about it. I don't know why they decided to do this, but they brought in a detective from France that was helping out, you know, which made sense because the family was royalty, so yeah, it makes sense to bring in a detective from their country. But they made it a French detective, and they called him Inspector Rousseau. And they even had the nerve to say, oh, like the Pink Panther, huh, Inspector Clouseau. I'm like, seriously? You're already ripping it off, and not in a funny way, not in an inventive way. You're just, it involves a jewel, it involves a diamond, and there's an Inspector Rousseau instead of Clouseau. I mean, it's the only, I don't even know what they were trying to do there. I don't know if they were trying to be clever, I don't know if they were trying to make a joke out, but they even noticed the fact that, oh yeah, your name sounds a lot like Clouseau. Haha, do you ever get that? Oh yeah, I get it all the time. Are you trying to be funny? Like, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand what they were trying to do there. Because it's one thing to make a parody of something. It's one thing to pay homage to something. It's another thing entirely to kind of just throw it in there as an offhand joke that doesn't even go anywhere. You know, like, they use that one time, and then that's it. After that, it's not talked about anymore. There's no other reference to the Pink Panther. It's talked about one time. I'm just like, do you want to make a joke out of this, or are you just sort of throwing in all of these random jokes? It happened a few weeks ago. No, a couple months ago actually, they had a moment where the profiler from the FBI, the little crazy girl, she was flirting with Aubrey at one point, and it was kind of like, what is going to happen here? He's already kind of with Daisy, so not Daisy. I'm getting my squints mixed up. It's the other girl, the redhead. I can't remember her name right now though. Anyway, but he's already kind of with her, so is this going to turn into sort of like a love triangle? Is there going to be any interest here? And then she just sort of goes and starts talking about his father and all that stuff, and it just went nowhere. I'm like, so why was that even a thing? Why make that a thing at all? Why make it seem like she's possibly asking him out on a date? It's the same thing here. Why make it seem like, ooh, Pink Panther guys, Inspector Russo, there's jewelry involved. What could it mean? Absolutely nothing. We're just going to go nowhere with that. That's the last thing you'll hear out of us. That's my frustration with the show right now. They're not clever enough to do anything with that. They're not clever enough to take that joke and turn it into something funny. They're not clever enough to take this interesting case and turn it into something mind-blowing and really twisty. Oh, what a plot twist. It's just, same old stuff. Just same old, same old, same old. And, there's several things you could do here. You could set up for the finale next week. You could set up for something in the next season. You could bring up a lot of interesting things. But all they do is, Hodgins may be getting his feeling in his legs back. He wasn't a ghost. He was kicking stuff. That's what that was. Okay. We get a slight mention that he's being overworked by his physical therapist at the beginning of this episode. And by the end of it, you're moving your legs. Dots do not connect like that. Like, it would be much better if we had a very interesting, okay, I'm going to say interesting because it was interesting, they just didn't handle it very well. They had a very interesting story going on at the beginning where Hodgins was dealing with the paralysis. He was dealing with the fact that he may never walk again. They didn't handle it very well because they just made him into a jerk, but it was an interesting story at first, but now it sort of seems like, he's accepted it. The past couple episodes, he's made a couple of jokes about it here and there, but it's like he knows this may be his life. So he's just sort of, okay, I've got to live with this. And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just randomly, he can move his legs again. You can't just do that. You can't just throw that in last minute, like, here you go, guys. I mean, it's not like, from a fan of the show and my appreciation for Hodgins, I do feel good for the fact that he can likely move his legs again. But it's still, from a story point, you can't just do that. You can't just throw in these random points after saying, but we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the episode. We talked about his physical therapist. And now, at the end, he can move his legs again. See, we're geniuses. We connected that dot so well. No. See, it was a dot on one side of the page and a dot on the other side of the page, and you try to go like that, and you can't do that. That's not physically possible. So, overall, I'm not going to say that it was a bad episode by any means, because I've seen some really bad episodes this season. But it's still not as good as it could be. It's still really frustrating at times. It's still taking these really clever ideas and doing nothing with them. It's still jumbling all this stuff together and saying, hey, here's your episode. I just don't understand what has happened. I don't know if the writers have changed. I don't know what's going on. But it's not nearly as clever. It's not nearly as enjoyable. It's not nearly as exciting to watch now. And even like watching the previews for next week, it looks exciting. They brought in the serial killer. I can't remember which episode. It was a few episodes ago. They brought in the idea of the serial killer. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Let's talk about this. And from the previews, it looks exciting. But I think back to the past part of this season, and I'm just like, I can't get my hopes up. I can't be excited about it because of how bad the show has been. So, I don't know. I gotta throw my hands up and say, I don't know. I don't know what to expect next week. I don't know what they're gonna do next season. I don't know what's gotta change. But yeah, I'm frustrated. I want things to change because it used to be a really good show. So those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We'll discuss it. Leave a like and subscribe for future Bones reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.